Greetings, Queen. Peace, Queen. Love, Queen.
Blessings.
Greetings, King. Peace, King. Love, King. For everyone that's actually tuned in, the topic is Beyond the Surface, Hurt and Healing. As a guest, we have Miss Jackie. And on the male side, we have Mr. Rich
Reading, positive energy.
in abundance, right?
Blessings.
This is actually Rich's idea, and he wanted to see how serious our queens were on actually doing a sit down and having this actual conversation on healing and the hurting of not only our society but of ourselves. You have people that pretty much walk around on the strength of their importance, and through that importance of holding up that image, they tend to step on other people versus ingesting and truly hearing someone's point of view. My favorite word as of lately is called egocentricity. And everybody feels they know what the answer is, how everybody should react, and nobody wants to listen, basically. And first question I would ask you guys, ladies first, understanding that the healing process starts with ourselves, right? How can we heal within a manner that we can transfer that healing to somebody else?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I wasn't hearing you before. You were sort of breaking up. Could you repeat it?
Oh, I cut out. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
I kind of hate when these things happen. Um, I was asking, how can one heal within a certain period of time to actually pass forth that healing to somebody else? I know the healing starts with us, right? But what is the process?
That's a very good question. And to make the answer, I think, more direct from experience,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a time frame on healing. There are different stages of healing. You have to first accept whatever is, the issue, the problem, whatever you're looking to heal from. And after that begins the work. Like I said, there is no time frame on it, and it depends on the individual and also the circumstances. From experience, again, I will tell you based on personal hurt and pain, there are some, I believe, to be honest with you, you heal and you let go of it, but you never quite forget it. It's always there as a reminder not to make the same mistakes. It's sometimes it probably even have you closed off to some degree, but it's it's just time, energy, prayers, support is very important. Support system, having someone to speak to, having that um personal, whoever it is, listening ear to more or less do that, listen to you and really listen. And it doesn't matter what your complaint is as long as they're supporting you. um I have a great circle. I have great children. I have a sister that she's very supportive. I can basically tell her anything. I mean anything. She's kind of like my twin, but not so much. But I can have that any conversation with her and she's not judgmental. She's sort of my therapist and I'm hers. We balance each other. Um, until you personally accept whatever it is and come to your reality, I don't think you can I don't think you can project or help anyone unless you yourself has reached that stage where you're okay. And that can take from anywhere to a couple months, a couple years. Who knows? Like I said, there is no time frame. There are stages. And believe it or not, I'm in one of those stages lately because, I've had a serious loss and I'm still dealing with it. And it have days where I'm okay. I can think of, my dad and be okay, have all the fun memories and all the things he taught me and, embellish and just be in the moment. And then it have a times where I'm a mess and he's been deceased now for 4 years. And here I am still trying to be okay.
My condolences, first off. I respect that. Um, Rich, what same answer? I'm sorry, same question.
Um, how's my volume?
Your volume is good.
Okay, and my condolences also, Jackie. Um,
Thank you.
and thank you for coming on. Um,
Thank
now
you.
that now that I'm hearing that you're going through something now, really appreciate you spending some time to talk with us. Also, um, you know, this life, the way I see it, and the way I always tell people, um, when we go through some serious things in life, like heartbreak or hurt or death of a loved one, or you know, it's a deep thing. And I see the only way of getting over it is to look at it deeply. If something happens deep, you must look at it deeply. And what I seen when I was like really at my lowest point, what I seen was when I came out of it, I started to notice, become aware of, uh, become aware that dying is a part of living. When it comes to getting over something, you must die to it.
Hmm.
And because we always think in conclusions of life. We kind of set ourselves up the way society brings us up, and part of my depression came was when I was doing great in music and traveling and doing what I do. I didn't think it was going to end. And we get caught up in the sensation of things, whether it's people, whether it's things or places. And then what happened when it dies? It's just like the Kobe Bryant thing. You look at Kobe Bryant, he's so full of life, so successful, and then all of a sudden he's gone. So I think that lesson in life must be learned early, that we must learn how to not to hold on.
I don't know if you're still speaking, but I think your volume just pretty much cut out. Rich. I don't know. I don't know if it's the vibration or what's going on. Pretty much stacking this many powerful individual um, in one location basically is causing this, but it will go forth, and I will not stop to start over. Kind of understand.
He brought up a valuable point. In dealing with grief, one has to somewhat, in a way, like, let it die. Like, it's a death of something. When something ends, it's like a death. It can be a personal relationship, it could be a business venture, a career, whatever it is, but it's an end to something. So it's kind of like a death. So he brought up a very good point.
Yeah, everything pretty much have cycles. And welcome back. Can you hear me? Still having the same issue? We gonna let you sort that out. I feel like everything does have a cycle, whether it's a friendship, relationship with mom, kids, friends, like you said earlier, job, and so on. For me, I also had a significant loss within the beginning of the month. She's like a second mom to me. She raised me when my mom left to the state in Jamaica. So all that I reflect and all that I knew and know now is off the strength of her. And she was pretty much she was like in the 50s. And last time I spoke to her, she just seemed so upbeat, healthy, and relaxed. So like when I got the message, I was like, I couldn't stop crying. I was like at work because like a part of me was gone basically.
Wow.
And I was like, man, you know, like I spoke to her sometime last year and I was about to call her and speak to her. And then my mom, my biological mom out of nowhere, I'm at work. She's like, hey, she just died. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Why are you calling me telling me this crap? And while I'm there, I actually hung the phone up on my mom. But my eyes was just leaking, like I couldn't hold back. Like, what the hell just happened? You know, come to find out she caught a stroke. She went to the hospital and they gave her medication, send her back home versus actually checking her artery to make sure it's functioning
Wow.
properly. Right. So when they send her home, her husband brought her back to the hospital. Then she died in the hospital. Her her artery was clogged. And I'm like, if somebody came in there for help, why would y'all send her home with just a prescription without knowing exactly what's going on? And I'm still going through it, but I understand, like, I say it's a part of the process. Richard, like, stop saying that, but I feel like life and death is a balance. And that's what that means to me. So we have to enjoy the present and understand that the greatest thing ever is relationship. And we have lost that. That's
My condolences. My
gratitude.
condolences to you.
Gratitude.
Um, Again, death is, no matter how much we try to prepare ourselves for it, it still gets to us. If you go back in the scriptures, um, when they quote unquote said Jesus wept for his friend Lazarus who died. And this is to say that it does not matter. You could be ill and suffering and whatever, whoever it is. And when that time finally comes and the person departs from this plane, it's still a traumatic experience for us, because they're not there anymore. You don't have them to talk to where you can get that response. You don't hear their voice. All you have basically is the memories, and hopefully they're good ones, like a whole lot that you can just be okay to let go and move on. Because again, I will go back to when my dad passed on. It was negligence, just like it was negligence with your aunt. It's negligence. And the Caribbean, unless you can afford a private hospital and you go to the city hospital, the facilities, and they have some great doctors, but nonetheless, what they're I don't quite understand why there's so much malpractice and neglect. If you have good doctors, what is the issue? I don't know, but nonetheless, he died from negligence as well. He had a stroke, and it led from one to, several of them, as a matter of fact. And he was in the hospital at the time, and he had that blockage as well, and it just went undetected. And so we lost him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and something I've noticed. This is a little sway off the topic, but it still falls into the topic. Like when my second child was born, basically we were in the hospital, and I guess he had jaundice, and his mom was fixated on him actually getting the gripe water, and I was like, nah, just listen to the doctors. I learned a lesson that day. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the doctors. So they put the kid on the 24 hours watch underneath a blue light, and
Hmm.
the thing that they had strapped up to his head was so tight that it actually, if you look at Avier's head today, he has like an indent on it. Mind you, he's a brand new baby. He
Hmm.
just came out of the womb. Like, why would you do that? And I've learned something. She
Wow.
started challenging the doctor. And she said to the doctor, what would your wife say to you if you just had a brand new baby and all she was asking for was gripe water?
Hmm.
Um, he's like, my wife would get the gripe water. I would go get it. But she's like, why are you giving me misinformation? And he said it. He said, within these four walls, due to the pediatrics of America, there's certain things I cannot actually tell you to do. And I looked at that and I was like, wow, you know, we we become so numb based off the dictation of society, because everybody's following somebody else. Like, we don't even have real thoughts anymore. And the notion of keeping up with everybody else causes us to be depressed, causes us to be hurt, because we're taking on so many different forms of energy except our own. And that's a build up to actual hurt, you know?
Right.
And the point of my story just now is to follow your heart. Like, if you feel something within, just flow with it, because 99.99% of the time it's correct. Women has it. It's called intuition, and there's nothing more powerful than that. Hey, Rich, can you hear me? You've been tap dancing in and out the live. What's going on? Still can't hear you. What's up with the volume on your phone, King? I guess I'm in here by myself. um, and that's pretty much what it is. In order to alleviate hurt, you have to focus on you. You have to ask the wise. A smart woman actually told me that, and homage to her. Um, you got to look at the wise, why you do certain things, why you go through so much things, why you willing to struggle, why are you gonna answer a phone knowing that it's gonna actually hurt you to hear somebody scream or somebody say whatever they desire to bring your energy down? Why go through that when you control all things through you? Yeah, ma.
You're having some technical difficulties here.
Seemingly so, right? But I don't think it's really me per se. I'm rolling with
Yeah,
full.
I don't think it is. I just the connection maybe, StreamYard maybe.
I'm gonna be tight because I actually just upgraded. I actually just upgraded, so I don't know what the heck is going on with them. Basically, I'm going to. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I might just end it and start over. If you guys want to bear with me, you don't mind, so we can get this out because
Okay.
I would love to hear everybody speak
Okay.
on this. So I'm gonna
All right.
end it and start it over. And I'm gonna send a link to you guys.